أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Inshallah, today, after a few days of Ramadan, taking a break, we will do the tafsir of Surah Al-Ma'un very briefly, and also the explanation. Obviously, we mentioned in Arabic, we will need some explanation of the words, just so that we understand what we are reading in the Quran and what we are reading in our Salah. So we done, Alhamdulillah, Surah Al-Fil, Surah Quraysh, and today we'll recite Surah Al-Ma'un. Surah Ma'un is Makkiyah. It was revealed in Makkah. The surah comprises of 7 verses. Ayatuha sab'a. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Inshallah, when we do Surah Al-Fatiha, then in detail we will explain the meaning of Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Obviously, it means in the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most kind, the most merciful. أَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي يُكَذِّبُ بِالدِّينِ. As we mentioned, and those that are listening, I would suggest that you have the Quran open in front of you, and then inshallah you will understand the literal word meaning that I am trying to explain. So ara means what, as we have mentioned. Ara'ayta, have you not seen? So ara is asking a question. Allahu, it comes in the Quran. And also we mentioned alam tara. Alam, have you not? So yeah, again, ara'ayta, have you seen? Ra'ayta. Ra'ayta, ra'a yar'a. Ra'ayta means have, he has seen. Ara'ayta, ra'a means he has seen. Ra'ayta, you have seen. Ara'ayta, have you seen? Alladhi, the one who. Remember we mentioned the meaning of alladhi in Suratul Fil. Alladhi, the one who. And alladhi comes in many places of the Quran, in various ayat, and also in our Arabic lesson. We've mentioned alladhi as well. Hada, hadi, dhalika. Alladhi came a few places. The one who. Yukadhibu. Yukadhibu, it comes from the verb takdhib, means to deny. Yukadhibu, to deny something, to refute something, to reject something. The one who rejects. So the Quran is saying, Allah is saying, Ara'ayta, have you seen? This is an expression in the Arabic language to mention something strange. Ara'ayta, have you seen the strange person? The one who denies biddeen, the day of Qiyamah. Bi generally is translated in Arabic, it means with. Sometimes it means of. So biddeen denies of the day of judgment. So have you seen the one that denies the day of judgment, the day of Qiyamah? The mushrikeen of Makkah, the kuffar of Makkah, they did not believe that after death there is any resurrection, there is any day of Qiyamah, etc. So because of that, they thought that now we can do anything. And generally a person, Allah Ta'ala is saying that how strange, a person feels that there is no day of resurrection, there is no day of compensation. So the oppressed will remain oppressed. Our oppressor will remain oppressor. There will be no one to reconcile, there is no one to atone for the crimes that they have done. There's no one to compensate for the oppression that they have taken in this world. Obviously there will be. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is indicating. Ara'ayta, have you seen the one yukadhibu bid-deen, who denies the day of judgment? Deen means religion as well. Deen means judgment as well. That's why we say Maliki yawmiddin, the master of the day of judgment. فَذَلِكَ الَّذِي يَدُعُّ الْيَتِيمِ. therefore. Dhalika, he. Dhalika, we said hada, this. Dhalika, that. So sometimes dhalika comes in the meaning of this as well. Here, فَذَلِكَ الَّذِي, and he is the one. Dhalika, the means this one or this person. Lika. So when you're talking to someone who is in front of you, you will say, you'd use the word kaf, fadhalika. So dhalika literally means this or that, or this person or that person. So fadhalika, he is the one. Alladhi, the one who, again alladhi came. Alladhi, the one who yadu'u al-yatim. Yadu'u, it comes in the Arabic language. I'm giving you a very basic, simple translation. Obviously, sometimes the translation in the Quran is very good. The English translations, very professional. Very sometimes high words are used. I'm giving you very simple day-to-day words that we use in our common daily lives. Yadu'u al-yatim, the one who pushes away al-yatim, the orphan. So they shun the orphan, they push the orphan children aside. This is yatim. We all know what is yatim, orphan child. So Allah Ta'ala is saying that He is the one that actually pushes away, shuns away the orphan. وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ. Wa means and, la means no. We mentioned about la. Yahuddu does not encourage, doesn't encourage. Yahuddu it comes from, but it's a present term. وَلَا يَحُدُّ, and he does not encourage, ala, on, ta'am, food, al-miskin, the poor. Meaning, he does not encourage to feed the poor. Ta'am means food, ta'am means feeding as well. Ala ta'amil miskin, he does not encourage upon feeding the poor. So he shuns away orphan children, he doesn't encourage others, or he doesn't himself feed the poor, meaning he's heartless. So when a person feels that in this world I can do whatever I want, there's no accountability, there's no day of judgment, no one's going to question me anything, then Allah Ta'ala is saying they head to this severe state over time. فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ, and woe on those musalleen. Musalli means the one who prays salah. So wailun means woe unto. Wailak in the Arabic language is used as rebuking someone. فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ, so woe unto those observers of prayer. Musalli, we all know what is musalli. Musalli of the masjid. He's the one who prays in the masjid. So the one musalliul masjid, he is the one who prays. Musalli salah, the one who's praying salah. So musalli, the one who prays. Musallin is the plural of it. So musalliyin, it was before musalliyun, then it became musallin. That inshallah we'll explain later on. So musallin means those that pray salah. So why woe unto those prayers, those musallis, alladhina hum an salatihim sahun. Which type of musallis? Those alladhina, those hum an salatihim sahun. They, an, from, salatihim, their prayer, sahun, exercise laziness. Well, sahu means to show, this is not, the normal type of, sometimes a person is feeling lazy or lethargy, etc. This is negligence. So sahu actually means they show negligence towards their salah. It also comes in the meaning of laziness, etc. Kasalan, but it means that they neglect their salah totally. So woe unto those musallis that actually neglect their salah. Neglect their salah means sometimes they pray, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they are, they're praying, but their heart is not in salah. So they're praying. Why? Because majority of the congregation is going to the masjid. We might as well go to the masjid just to show our face, just to show that we are doing something. That is why Allah Ta'ala described the next verse saying, Alladina, those who pray, hum yura'un. They show off. They want to show off to others. Look, I have come to the masjid. Look, I have done my salah. Look, I have done my duty, etc. But in reality, within they are not Muslims. They deny the day of judgment. They are, they become heartless people over time. Hum alladina, those whom yura'un. Yura'un means those that show off. Yura'un, ra'a, yura'i. It also, if you look at the first word, ara'aita, the one who sees. So yura'un, the one who shows. Yamna'un, and this is the plural word, yura'un. It was yura'ayun or yura'iyun, and then it became yura'un. This is a plural word. Wa and yamna'una, they prevent. Al-ma'un. Ma'un is something futile, something simple, and they reject utilizing simple objects or simple things. They mise to give or to lend something simple. For example, you ask, for a person for his pen so you can make a mark, or you ask a person for something small or futile, and even then, the breath comes out by giving it, thinking that you will take it away, or you will steal it, or you will run away with it. Another tafsir to ma'un is zakat, and they refuse giving zakat. Yamna'una, they refuse borrowing, or they refuse giving zakat. So this was the literal translation. Very briefly, I will give you the tafsir of this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking of the munafiqeen, as well as a person who does not believe in the hereafter. So a person is faithless. They have no belief. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about that, how strange that a person is born in this world, is given all the abilities, all the facilities to think, to have the intellect, etc. And thereafter he still thinks that this whole world is just running as is, and afterwards there is no accountability, that there is no day of resurrection, there is no day of judgment, no one is going to account for anything. So the king can do whatever he wants, the oppressor can continue oppressing those that are oppressed. There's no one to voice out for them, and this is how the world is, and that is how it will end. So Allah Ta'ala is saying, how strange, how is that possible? In that way, this whole world just becomes a jungle. Like how the animals, the powerful oppress those that are weak, and that's how the law of the jungle continues. The law of the world will continue the same way. Then what's the harm of that? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَذَلِكَ الَّذِي يَدُعُّ الْيَتِيمِ. These are the same people that will shun away the orphans. Now, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about, people in the Quran, Allah Ta'ala speaks about the extreme evil that it will lead to, meaning being faithless, asking or neglecting the day of judgment, rejecting the day of judgment, will lead to people having these qualities. فَذَلِكَ الَّذِي يَدُعُّ الْيَتِيمِ. Then for them, looking after an orphan doesn't mean anything, because you looking after an orphan, what reward will you get in the hereafter for that? Well, those that believe know that they will be rewarded. Those that don't believe. So yatim is the most weakest in the, if you look at from the human categories of people, an orphan child is generally regarded as the most pitiable child. People have pity upon, people have mercy upon, and they are kind towards. But when a person feels that there is no accountability, so why should I be kind? And that it could lead humanity to that extreme brutality, that extreme ill qualities. الَّذِي يَدُعُّ الْيَتِيمِ, the one who shuns the orphans. وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ, and he does not encourage to feed the poor. So the person totally becomes heartless. The person becomes, it becomes a alam of nafsi nafsi. Nafsi nafsi means that everything is then just revolved around yourself. That why should I help someone? Why should I assist someone? Why should I do something that I will not be rewarded for, or I will not be compensated for? If the poor don't have food, that is therefore, that is what the kuffar of Makkah used to tell Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that well, if they don't have the what you call food, if Allah is not feeding them, why should we feed them? Na'udhu billah. This is what the kuffar of Makkah used to say, because they used to believe that this is ma hadhihi al-hayat ad-dunya namutu wa nahya wa ma nahnu bimab'uthin, that this life in is that we will live, we will die, and there's no resurrection. This was the course of the people, and this was the thought of the people of the kuffar of Makkah. Yes, sometimes a person, we might see that a person is doesn't believe on the day of resurrection, but he still carries the qualities of being merciful, is still kind, is still having pity for the poor, etc. So how do we link this with that? What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning to us, that the extreme circumstances will be that humanity will be directed towards that. Yes, in between you will find people of different qualities, but the ultimate will end up there, where no one will care for anyone if the day of resurrection, the day of accountability is rejected. Then the oppressor will do whatever they want. Then, those that are abided by the law will abide. Those that don't have to abide by the law, they will continue oppressing around the world. And we've seen that in history, and it's happening, all the time. Oppression all over the world, and those that are weak are being suppressed. Those that feel that they are strong, they continue to oppress the weak, and there's no one to question them. There's no one to judge them. There's no one to ask them anything. So this is where humanity leads to when the day of accountability is rejected. If a person has in their mind that one day I will be accountable, I have to answer for everything, I have to answer for my deeds, for my good deeds, for my bad deeds, then it will put a person in the correct line of humanity and correct line of Deen and Islam. فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ. Then here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that these are the people that will pray, but they will show off. These are the munafiqeen Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is indicating to. So you have two groups. One is the group that denies the day of Qiyamah. One is and they openly deny. And one is the group that denies the day of Qiyamah, but they still behave to be Muslims, or they still want to be perceived as Muslims. They still want to be perceived as righteous people in the community. فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ الَّذِينَ, Allah Ta'ala says, woe upon those that pray with negligence. الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. They are negligent towards their prayers. They neglect their prayers. It doesn't hurt them. So if they missed a prayer, it doesn't hurt them. Now this doesn't apply to those sincere Muslims for some reason. They have missed their prayer, or they are not praying, etc. This clearly applies to those that constantly miss every salah and never feel bad about it, or never even think ill about it. There are those that pray constantly, but still within their heart they carry the element of rejecting Deen, of rejecting Allah, just for the sake that the community around them calls them Muslims. They will come. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. They are praying this salah, but they are negligent. They are praying it with lethargy. الَّذِينَ هُمْ يُرَاءُونَ. And they show off. Sometimes a person does something and then wants to show the credit. The person didn't do something but wants to take the credit for everything. الَّذِينَ هُمْ يُرَاءُونَ. They show off for everything. وَيَمْنَعُونَ الْمَاعُونَ. And they even they mize, or they prevent a person from utilizing simple, futile, basic elements, basic items, basic things, or they mize to give zakat, and they prevent spending in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala what is the due of the poor. So this is the basic ayat of Surah Ma'un, important lessons that we can learn from here. Number one is that if humanity decides to reject the day of, if there's no concept of life hereafter, then there's no purpose of this life either. Then humanity and the animals in the jungle becomes equal, become the same. Because then anyone can do anything and there's no accountability, there's no question. Another lesson we learn from this, that Allah Ta'ala has highlighted the yatim specifically, the most oppressed person you see in communities is generally an orphan child, whether the father or the parents have left inheritance and it's been usurped by the family members, it's taken away, or sometimes often people do collection in the name of orphans and then it doesn't reach them. So this is all types of oppression upon the orphan. وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ. And the third category are the poor people. These are also it's part of an Islamic belief, and it's part of an Islamic quality to go and look out for the poor and to feed them. It is mentioned of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu that he used to go and serve a blind woman, daily, until the time where Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was no more. Then Hazrat Umar radiallahu anhu continued. When Hazrat Umar radiallahu anhu went one day, he realized that someone used to be here before that used to assist this woman. So he asked that who it is, and she said it was Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. So we need to look at those that are less fortunate within our community. And obviously with regards to Salah, we should always be in the forefront. Because of lockdown, sometimes we might be exercising caution, not going to the masjid, etc. But within our homes, pray your Salah on time, and stay away from showing off, and stay away from denying anyone anything. Obviously, some people will ask for extraordinary things. You can tell them nicely, politely, look. But anything simple, simple, basic aspects, we should show our generosity as much as possible. And also our zakat. Remember, zakat is not your money. Zakat is the money of the poor, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has entrusted to you. So you need to fulfill your zakat when it's due. Keeping it also tantamounts to zulm, also tantamounts to bukhul. That person is classed as a bakhil who doesn't discharge his zakat, and also it will spoil your current wealth. If zakat is kept within your wealth over a year, then there's great fear that a calamity can come upon your wealth. And if zakat is discharged, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removes that calamity that was meant to fall upon your wealth. May Allah ta'ala give me and all the one and all the ability. This was a brief explanation. Inshallah, we'll continue with Inna A'tayna Qul Ya Ayyuhal Kafirun next week, and also with our next week again we'll do our dars of Durusul Lugha as well. Jazakumullahu khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.